So, everybody, welcome back. If you hear me munching during this episode, it's because my wonderful daughter Justice, you met the other day, brought me my favorite black licorice. It's love the snack because A, it's delicious, and B, I can count on nobody stealing it.
It's so gross. It's disgusting. Black licorice. There's like two things I won't eat in this world, and it's black licorice and baked beans.
What? You eat cottage cheese?
I don't. I don't. That's a tough one because like if it's in stuff, I'll still try it.
If there's like a jello, one of those fruit salads or
Yeah, I'll
something.
still try it.
Yeah.
Black licorice, no, won't do it. Baked beans, no.
No baked beans?
I don't. So you gotta try it. No, they're disgusting. It's like you're eating a bowl of somebody else's snot, and it's sweet, and I don't really do sweet stuff. Like if I want some sweet, I want like fruit or a couple of peanut,
Right.
but
More savory,
yeah.
for sure. That makes sense. I can respect that you're just like, no, fuck it,
Yeah.
I'm out.
I mean,
About
and
liver,
only because I've tried enough of it. Like I'm not.
what about liver and onions?
Liver's good.
If it's fried nice and crispy,
I don't even care.
really?
I like the texture of it. Thank you so much.
And you like the irony blood taste?
Yeah. Yeah. I like the texture of liver really reminds me of like moon sand.
Moon sand?
Yeah, I don't know if you remember that. Moon sand is like it was big when we were young. It's clay and sand had a baby and it was dyed different colors. And so like you would like put it into molds and stuff.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And then when you were done, you would just mush it back up. But inevitably you mixed all the colors up and they just turned into like a gross brown eventually. But
Okay, well, hopefully you can understand my confusion. I thought moon sand was a snack
yeah,
for when
no.
you were a kid.
No,
And now that's why I was like, what?
I'm sure I ate some of it. Yeah.
Right. It's Hey, I would like to send a shout out to my daughter Justice because she knows not to bring me a sweet tea unless it has lemon.
Mhm.
I was so pissed off the other day. I try not to get pissed off, but I was pissed off. I ordered a sweet tea with lemon at McDonald's drive. If you drink sweet tea with lemon, it's not a garnish. It's not like I need a little bit of yellow in my tea to make me feel all warm and cozy. I want the flavor of the lemon in the tea. I drink black coffee. I don't want cream and sugar in my coffee. If I order if I order a black coffee and they say, "Oh, I'm sorry, we only had sweetened coffee," would they expect me to take it? No, because it'd be fucking weird.
No, I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong here. And I think you're wrong because one, you feel so strongly about it. And to be honest, I agree. I think they're two completely different drinks. But you I think you're alone in how not alone, but more alone than you think in how far that goes.
But maybe.
I think you are. And I also think your experience as like a high-end server, like you know,
I expect what I want.
yeah, you have your standards are you're going to McDonald's, dog. Like, yeah, they should probably be like, hey, by the way, we're out of lemon, and then you would go, okay, then I want something else. But even that is like a lot to expect from a drive-through.
Okay, so for the record, I wasn't pissed off that they didn't have the lemon. I was pissed off that they just handed it to me without the lemon
Without saying
and
anything.
expected me to just be like,
Yeah,
"Here, we're out of lemon," and just hand it to me. And I'm like, "I would like a Coke."
yeah, that's what I know exactly what you're saying, and I think you're wrong. I think you're expecting way too much there.
Why?
Because one, they probably don't know they're out of lemon until the moment they're handing you the tea to hand they're picking up the tea to put a lemon in it to hand it to you. It's probably the last thing they're doing. They have no idea they're out of lemon until that moment. How many people do you think are pulling through the drive-through asking for sweet tea with lemon from
It
McDonald's?
should be fucking more,
But it's
because
not.
it's the better way to drink.
Right, I agree, but it's not. So they probably don't know. Like they have no idea until the moment it's coming out that window. I think you're expecting too much. It's not like they're out of hamburgers. Like, they would know if they were out of patties.
Hand me a chicken sandwich.
Yeah, they're not going to hand you a McChicken.
We're out of Big Macs.
Yeah.
Here's a fillet of fish.
100%.
Eat it. You'd be happy.
But they probably don't know they're out of limit.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, maybe I'm overreacting a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. Just because it's McDonald's.
So speaking of overacting, okay, you have a problem with Nicole Kidman.
No, don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. It is not a problem with Nicole Kidman. I love Nicole Kidman. I mean, I say I love Nicole. I appreciate her work. I don't really keep up with celebrities in general, so like I don't know her as a person, whatever. But I have no problem with her. Okay, he's referring to the Nicole Kidman AMC commercial that. Okay, first of all, she does great in it. It's a great commercial. It's shot very well. The cinematography's great. The audio's great. It starts and you're like outside the AMC and it's raining and like it's the perfect like movie night.
Right.
And then you go in and she's like in the theater and the like light is playing off of her face and stuff. It's great. And she talks about how magical the movie theater is and like how we need to keep it alive and all this stuff. And it's great. And I agree with the message. The problem is they play it before the movie at the theater that they're advertising. You have to buy a ticket to this theater to watch the commercial for the theater. What more do you want from me? I've committed to the lesson you're trying to teach me already. And that's when you decide I need to hear it again. I've never seen this commercial anywhere else. It's not on YouTube. I haven't seen it on cable. I haven't seen it anywhere else besides the theater that it's advertising for. It's not even an ad for their loyalty program. AMC has Stubs, which is a loyalty program. It's not even about that. It's about the theater itself that you paid a ticket. And everybody watching that commercial has paid a ticket. And I know that because there's only 4 people in the theater. And so when they walk in and count heads, nobody's sneaking past them. So every single person watching this has already committed to this lesson that they're trying to teach you. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
This is a good time to say, everybody meet Isaiah. As you can tell, we both have some passions about shit that to the real world probably doesn't matter, right? I mean, these are definitely first world problems.
100%.
Tea, lemon in your tea.
Nicole
Kidman in your movie theater, telling you to come to the movie theater
that I've already paid
that
a
we
ticket
are at.
for.
Those are definitely.
Yeah.
They put his life in perspective a little bit. So this is Isaiah. Welcome.
Actually worked that. Like, I might have to take my hoodie off. That was
Go ahead. It's okay.
coffee and the AMC rant. I give that rant probably 2-3 times a week at work too. I still feel that strongly about it every time I speak on it.
I give the lemon and the sweet tea, and not just say, "Hey, we're out of lemon. Would you like something else?" And when I say I want something else, don't act all pissed off about it.
Still, I just don't think that's a deal breaker for as many people as you think.
No, but it is for me.
But
I'm the one.
They
who
don't
ordered.
know you.
I don't care about Bob
Not
Jones.
only do they not know you, but they don't get paid enough to know you. They don't.
But they also don't buy the fucking lemon or the Coke. So why should they care if I say, you know what, I would prefer a Coke
because
out of lemon?
They already did the thing. Remember, they're not finding this out to the very end. They already did all the work you paid them for.
Unless their job was to cut the lemon. It's somebody's job.
Yeah,
Why wouldn't
yes.
it be the person who puts the lemon in the drink's job?
I actually never thought about that. I mean, we cut lemons at work, obviously, but I never thought about the fact that
it's probably
somebody
that
cuts
person. It's probably that
lemon
person.
at McDonald's.
Yes.
They don't buy pre-cut lemons.
No, they cut them. So if they're not fucking sliced, that's on them. That's not on me. I should not be punished because somebody did not do their fucking job.
Yeah, but like,
Go in the back, slice a fucking lemon, or give me a Coke and shut up about it.
Probably not, like, out the limit.
No,
They
no.
probably have a
9
limit in the
times out
back.
of 10, they walk back and get one. Well, we're out up here. Okay. If you're not out, I would like a lemon. If you are, I'd like a Coke. It's a different drink.
Yeah, I still think you're one step ahead, though. I think you're one step ahead of where the problem like, your problem arises one step too early. I think if they say no, that's when you get to have a problem. If they're like, "Nah, I'm not gonna go cut this lemon because I didn't do it an hour ago," then you can have a problem with it.
Okay.
But, like,
What about when they give me attitude that I don't want the tea and I want a Coke instead?
well, yeah, then that's shitty of them, but, like
That's what I'm talking. That's what pisses me off.
yeah, 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 yeah,
It's not.
yeah.
I understand people could be out of lemons. Now, when you're out of lemons, when you're out of cut lemons, and you just haven't done your job. But
Yeah,
when you're like, you look at me like you don't want the tea. I already poured tea. Yes, but I drink it with lemon. I don't drink Diet Coke. I drink Coke. Just because it has the same name, it's different. So yes, I would like a Coke instead of the sweet tea without lemon.
yeah,
And they get pissy about it. That's what pisses me.
yeah, yeah, I guess, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's not what you said, though, so that wasn't your original point.
So, and she's just as passionate about it as me.
I'm gonna be honest, when I'm at work, if I'm covering the bar and we're out of lines, now it's a way bigger deal for us to go cut lines. I'm assuming like, McDonald's is only so big, like, it'll probably take 5 minutes to cut in lemon, but we have to, like, go downstairs, go into the back of the kitchen, pull it out of the we have to pull from 5 different spots all the crap that we need to just cut a lemon or a lime. So, like, it's a way bigger deal for us. So if we're out of limes, if somebody orders a Corona, I tell them, "Hey, we're out of limes. Go ask them if they still want the Corona or the Modelo." So, like, I agree in principle, but in practice, again, you're at McDonald's, and I just don't.
All right. So let me ask you a question on that with your situation then. So you guys have a pretty good bar, right? Pretty
Yeah,
big bar,
yeah,
and you're doing. I would say on a busy night, you're doing a lot of drinks.
yeah.
I mean, people come to drink and golf, right?
Uh, yeah.
Or
We have a pretty strict alcohol service policy too, though.
okay. So my point being, why why is it so why have they made it so difficult to cut lines for a bar? Why
Well,
is that
because
such a process?
it's so corporate that, like, you have to one, in order to cut limes, you have to be cut trained. You have to go through training to be able to cut.
Okay.
So you have to go get a cut glove, and you have to be it's not like you have to take a 8-hour course on how to cut a lime, but, like, you have to do online training so you don't cut off your more importantly, so you can't sue them if
If
you
you
cut
cut
off
off
your
your
finger,
finger.
right?
Right.
So, like, you have to be trained on, like, where the cut gloves are, how you're supposed to wear it, because 'cause you're supposed to wear the cut glove, and then you're supposed to wear a glove over top of it to keep it, like, food safe still, and then you can only cut and you're not supposed to be cutting at the bar, you have to cut in a specific portion of the kitchen because that's the prep area, because the allergies and all that crap, like, there's way more policy that goes into
Wow.
that than you think. My eyes were really open to when I started working there was it's like I worked at Sparky's all throughout high school. I worked with you, a little bit at Rogues, and it is a whole different operation. It's a whole different world. Like I'm a salary manager now, and I barely have the opportunity to say with anything, this is what I want to do, so we're going to do it this way.
Okay.
There's
This is the way it's done.
this is the way it's done, and it's done that way because there's so many rigorous steps to like it. I mean, basically all of it starts with lawsuits, right? Like your legal team.
Right.
This is how we prevent losing revenue through lawsuits, because I mean that's just where you have to start, Um,
And it brings consistency
right.
to the name.
That's the other thing is they have a big consistency thing with policy. They want every aspect of every venue across the nation and internationally now to be as similar as possible.
That makes sense. I can totally buy that. Like, I mean, like when I go through McDonald's and I should think of
Right.
a Big Mac's a Big Mac, right?
They
In
call it quarter
Bentonville, I
pounder in
should definitely get
France.
a Eureka. Yeah. Do what?
You know what they call a quarter pounder in France? Yeah, but yeah, like the only like California and
A
Utah,
Royale?
a Royale with
A
cheese.
Royale with cheese.
Uh, they Utah and California are different because so like there's a lot of policies that are different up there, usually based around alcohol service.
Makes sense.
California has a lot of different like laws on insurance and litigation in general and like all kinds of stuff. So it's just basically impossible to keep consistency with California in basically any other state, especially like a red state like Arkansas. Like, not to get political about it, it's just very, very different. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
so in basically all of our training, it's like blah 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 blah, except in California and Utah.
Okay. All right.
But the point is to maintain as much consistency as possible.
Do you ever struggle with certain things going, man, there's a more efficient way to do
Oh, all the time, all the time. Uh, yes, all the time, and that's one of my big things in not just like work, but in life. One of my big things is like I obsess over efficiency a lot.
it? Right.
Like if I take the wrong way home from the gym, it pisses me off. Like I get pretty worked up about it. Not like it's not gonna change my mood for the rest of the day. It's not gonna change my actions whatsoever. But in my head, why did I do that? Like kind of beat myself up about it a little bit. So especially, it's kind of better and worse in that aspect for work because like yeah, I want to do these things more efficiently. Like we're open until midnight on the weekdays right now, and there's a chance that that won't change in December and January when
Okay.
it's 5 degrees out
And nobody's there.
and nobody's there.
Right.
And we don't have the option to say, okay, we're going to close early tonight. We just don't. We just can't do that.
Right. Even
It's
though overall it'd be more profitable to be able to make that
right.
choice.
But the way it's broken down into regions. So your region is going to keep these hours.
Okay.
Problem is, our region contains like Little Rock and OKC and all these venues that have broader nightlife. Like Rogers, Arkansas doesn't have,
Once
you
the
know,
amp's down,
yeah, 10:30, everybody's in bed, like so it doesn't really make sense for us to stay open. And even the business that we get after 10:30, it's not like if we closed at 10, they would just come at 9 instead of coming at 11.
right,
Like nobody's getting off of work to go run over to Topgolf at 11 o'clock.
right,
It's not a dive bar, you
right.
know. So that really gets to a lot of us. At the end of the day, that's keeping you there longer. It's not really like the efficiency of it. Uh,
Well, and that I will say that the inconsistency
Mm.
would be almost way more annoying than the inefficiency as far as
yeah,
for me. Like, there's certain things that I can't deal with just inconsistency. Like, if
you
it's
talk
this
about the
way, it
mic.
needs to be this way. It needs to be this way. That's how it is,
Mm.
right? Um, so I guess there's that trade off there, right?
Yeah,
Like I have as far as like Eureka goes, right? Something I've said for years is our shops downtown need to have some sort of cooperation to say from November 1st through New Year's Eve, our shops will be open these hours. If
yeah,
it's on Spring Street, Main Street, in the main area, these days a week, it will be open these hours so that we can advertise to places like Tulsa, like Fayetteville, like Springfield. Hey, come do your Christmas shopping. Our hours for our shops are
yeah,
here to here, right? So we can have some sort of consistency because it's hard for us to draw Christmas shoppers anymore
yeah,
because they know they can go to the promenade
yeah.
and the stores are all going to
That's
be
exactly
fucking
what I was gonna
open.
say. Is you don't the mall closes at 9 o'clock. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
that, and that makes sense.
I mean, we've preached it in our family for "work smarter, not harder"
Yep.
is a phrase that's definitely been there. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you've always been extremely intelligent, right? I mean, you were documented genius in kindergarten. Okay. And what you struggled with from my eyes is when you have to reach a little harder for them, right?
Mm,
Because you have a you want to do it perfect or not at all.
yeah. Yeah. Which is you talked about. I get that from you. I
Yeah,
think Um, but that was the other thing I was gonna say. Like it also kind of alleviates some of that with the work thing. It's like
I could see that.
at the end of the day, it's not my choice. My job is to run the venue, and if they're telling me, this aspect of how that venue's run, you have to do it this way, then even if it doesn't make any sense for our venue, it's not my decision.
Right.
I'm not the one messing that up.
Right.
So it does actually kind of alleviate things in that way.
That makes sense. That makes sense. That takes some pressure off of you for that,
Yeah.
for sure. And it's obvious you do a great job, or you wouldn't be moving up the ladder so quick. So good job on that. So Nicole Kidman,
Yeah. Don't don't do that to me. She's great. She's great. She does a great job in the commercial. The commercial's great. It's ineffective. You spent all this money and time making this great commercial, and you're just choosing to use it at the exact wrong time.
like, I would like to be watching the Super Bowl this year, and all of a sudden see that commercial.
Right.
That would make a lot more sense.
100%. And you know what? I actually think they might have said recently that they were taking it out of the theaters, which I'm happy about.
But are they going to put it somewhere else?
That's the problem. You already spent the time and money on it. Like, I get you're gonna have to pay for a spot. You're gonna have to pay to show that commercial somewhere else. But
But the whole point's to make more money.
yeah, you're still losing all that time and money you put into it. You might as well try to get something out of it.
Right. Yeah. Why?
Throw it on YouTube. Like,
Hey, I have an idea.
all right, AMC,
Not
hit them up.
Not sure if it
Yeah.
is sponsored by AMC
There
Theaters.
you go.
I will run it at the beginning of every single podcast
Now,
for free movie tickets and popcorn.
well, that might be too much.
I
The
know.
tickets they could probably swing. The popcorn, that's probably a deal breaker right there. But like on YouTube, there's this game called like Eve Online, and it's this huge online MMO where you're like space travelers, but that's not what it's about. It's about an economy. There's an economy set up by the players throughout the universe, and it's basically like a stock market simulator. Like you're running these. That's what it's become. It's like running these corporations as efficiently as possible. It's a beautiful game.
What's the name of it?
Eve Online. It's impossible to get into at this point. Like
Really?
people make a living playing this game.
So what do you mean?
Full
What's an MMO?
massive multiplayer online?
Okay, so
like,
was like
it's-
World of Warcraft back in the day?
Yeah,
Was
that's
that
an MMORPG, which is massive multiplayer online role playing game.
Okay,
This is thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of players probably have created an online economy, and they're running different shipping lanes, and they're running different businesses, and there's alliances and stuff. People do this for a full-time job. And it's a beautiful, like I said, it's a beautiful, beautiful game. Like the graphics are awesome. The starships are super cool. That's not what it's about. It's about ones and zeros, baby. It's about number goes higher. That's what it's all about. Anyway, it's huge. It's impossible to get it. I don't know why they advertise it anymore because you can't get into it now. You're just so far behind. It's just impossible. But they have like a 45-minute advertisement on YouTube, like a full 40. And it came on, and the first 30 seconds caught my eye. I sat and watched the whole 45-minute commercial. I hate commercials. I hate them so much. I knew about this game. I knew everything about it. I knew I couldn't play it. Like, I would be getting in too late, and I would be bad at it, and I had no intention of playing it. I watched 45 minutes of this ad. I watched the whole thing. Throw that AMC commercial on YouTube. People will watch it. The opening scene is awesome. The opening shot is great. It's gonna catch enough eyes. You're gonna make some money on it. Don't play it at the one place you shouldn't be playing it.
It's valid. I have come to the conclusion that the world would probably just be more efficient and run better if they just listened to us.
No, no.
No?
I have some great points. I think that's a really good point. No, I probably take it a little too far sometimes.
Fine. We moved to Eureka Springs. Yeah, 2009.
Because I was 8.
Yeah, so we moved from Springfield, 2000 and to Wichita, Kansas, and then we came here in 2009, right? So you entered Eureka Springs School, and in 5th grade, they asked you if you wanted to skip
No,
grade.
I came in 3rd grade, and Wichita was a year ahead, and I tested an additional year ahead of Wichita. So before I started 3rd grade, they gave me the option to go to 5th grade.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Which was the grade Justice was in.
So you decided not to. We discussed that, right? But you played sports too. I was 5'2" when I turned 16 years old. We weren't quite sure what that was going to look like for you.
Yeah.
Mom's a whopping 5'3", so we didn't want to put you behind the 8 ball even more in that area.
Yeah. Well, I attempted to play sports at that age.
Yeah, you did.
Not really.
You weren't great.
I was terrible.
I don't think you're terrible.
Well, the problem is you never had any proof either way because I didn't play. I practiced sports.
You played baseball.
Dad, I didn't play baseball until 5th or 6th grade. You don't remember that summer where I said, "Hey, I'm tired of being bad at all of these sports. I like baseball."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
3rd grade, 4th grade, probably 5th grade, I sat on the side and picked daisies.
So,
But I decided to get good at it. I got pretty good at it.
yeah. Actually, I think you would have been decent in high school baseball.
If we had a team.
Yeah.
I think so too. Still kind
School was always a mixed bag for you
Mm.
because the grades came easy as long as you turned in the work,
Yeah.
right? Like it, as long as you showed up,
Yeah.
you were going to have good grades. Got bored sometimes.
Yeah.
Not challenged, right? So how was that now that you're a grown man, right? Out on your own, doing your thing, and doing very well, very responsible as an adult. Um, how do you take this kind of perfectionist? Because it, like me, if I'm gonna do something, I want to be able to do it well, or I don't want to fuck with it,
Yeah.
right? And like right now, you're trying to you're playing guitar a little bit.
Mhm.
I've been through those phases back and forth, like we were just talking about in the living room. I'll pick it up, I'll play every day for 6 months, 8 months, and then I won't touch it for 2 years.
Yeah.
Right? Um, how are you dealing with that as an adult, knowing that I'm not gonna be perfect at everything?
I don't know, that's really hard. I still want to be the best at everything. I still don't believe I'm the best at anything, but I've become more and more okay with that over the years. There's a great quote from one of my favorite authors now, Brandon Sanderson. there's this saying in the series, the Stormlight Archives, it's the first step is the most important step a man can take. And then it shifts, and this one of the characters, Dalinar, really lives by this. And he's a man of honor, and he's like, as long as when you start something, you finish it. You never leave something halfway done. And if as long as you do that, the most important thing is that you start it. Starting it is, once you do that, if you can just keep going, that's the most important step. And then eventually it morphs a couple different ways, but it ends up being the most important step a man can take is the next step. It's not about, yeah, it's important to start it. Yeah, it's important where you end up, but continuing that path is really what matters. He learns that the means in which we achieve our goals or progress or whatever it really matters. Um, and I'm not saying like I learned this lesson from that book, but I've gotten a lot of different versions of that lesson in different ways. And like I went through a skateboarding phase.
Right.
Basically every day I was out there trying to learn how to skateboard, and I was not very good at it. I was not very good at it. Never was. Did I want to be the best skateboarder to ever live? Yes, because I picked up a skateboard one time, like,
Right.
but a lot of that, it's not easy. Skateboarding is really not easy, but it's a lot of fun. And it's fun because, once you finally land that trick, it's awesome. Once you finally learn how to kickflip, it's a great feeling. But the moment you learn to kickflip, you learn to heel flip next. You do this, you do that. It's not about, you're never going to stop. Skateboarding is not about the tricks you can do. It's about learning the next trick, and I've run into these different scenarios a lot since I've moved out of Eureka. I'm over in Fayetteville. I've met a lot more people, and a lot of them are just better at so many things than I am. I can take that and I can let it piss me off and I can let it ruin my day that I'm not the best, but I don't want to be a miserable grouch. And if I can enjoy the grind and enjoy the process, at the end of the day, that's really what matters. And so, yeah, I still want to be the best. I want everything I do to be perfect. And yeah, it still upsets me when it's not. It still upsets me when I'm not the best. But I can separate that out and still enjoy the progress that I'm making. I the other day you were talking about playing guitar, and the other day I watched a video on What I Got by Sublime, and it's got that that little solo there,
I'm sorry. What was that again?
whatever.
Can you give us that
And
one more time?
and I watched the video, and he's like, "Okay, now we're gonna get to the solo part, and this is what you do. You go, pentatonic into mixolydian and all this." And 2 months ago, I watched a video on some song, I don't remember what, and he was like, "This is the solo, and this is what you do. You go pentatonic into mixolydian and blah, blah, blah." And I turned it off. I didn't even try. No, I just turned it off. I had no freaking clue what the hell he was talking about. And if I didn't even know what he was talking about, I knew I wasn't gonna be able to do it. So
Right.
I just stopped. I gave up learning that song. Like, I wrote it down, I moved it further down the list, moved on. But when he got to the solo and What I Got the other day, it was this week, I was like, "Oh, not only do I know what he's saying, I think I can do that."
The scale.
The scales,
Pentatonic
because
scale.
I've been working on my scales, and I'm like, "Oh, I recognize this pattern now." I don't know what the Mixolydian scale is. Haven't practiced that whatsoever, but I could transfer it over, and if I can run this scale, I can run that scale. And so I tried it, and it was not good. It was not easy, but I wasn't. button mashing. I wasn't, like
Right.
I knew where to move it, and it felt like I picked it up and did it first try. Just the fact that I had gotten to the point where 2 months ago I was so lost I walked away. Now I can hear it and I know where to go. Like, that was a big enough moment that I got super excited, and, like, for the next 2.5 hours, I was sitting there playing that solo over and over again.
Nice.
Yeah, so I still want to be perfect. I still want to be the best. It still drives me insane when I'm not, but separately, I can enjoy the process and I can enjoy the grind of getting there. And I can enjoy, waking up. There's another saying that my buddy at work likes to say that's, if we can just be 1% better today than we were yesterday, we did a great job today. And I think that's really correct. It's really right. And if you can learn to enjoy that 1% better, your life is just so much easier. It's so much better.
Uh, I like that saying a lot. It
Mm,
makes a lot of sense. I'm glad that you've been able to grow and get there, because I know, and like for myself, that got in the way for me a lot of getting as good at certain things as I could have. Right?
mhm.
There were certain things that which sounds like you're doing now, using that drive to be the best as a motivation to just keep going because you're enjoying the process.
Mhm.
But a lot of times I would stop whatever it was because I couldn't see myself getting to be even where I felt I was proficient. So finding the enjoyment in that path, if I knew the path, if I felt like the path had a block at the end of it and I can only go so far, I would really struggle with that.
Yeah.
And I could see that a lot in you when you were younger. Like, I don't see that I'm going to accomplish that. So fuck that. Just
Mhm.
write them out. But then there were other things that you were just so driven in. You're in school. If you showed up, you did great. I mean, second time you took your ACT, you got a 33, 36 in science, 34 in math, language 28, I think was your lowest one.
Yeah.
I think that was fall of your junior year, and you never took it again.
Yeah.
You had taken it once before, got a 28.
Yeah.
Um, and I remember because I was checking for the scores online at the soccer game, and you're across the field. I'm like, are they posted yet? Are they posted yet? Are they posted yet? And that was such a cool feeling to be able to run across the field and tell you that. From my personality, I felt like if I was 33, which was phenomenal, 36 was perfect in your math and science. I was like, or science, sorry.
Mm.
Math was 34. I would have had to do it again to
Yeah.
see if I could get perfect.
And I did have that feeling, and I thought about that for a long time. And here's what kept me from that. I didn't wanna get up early enough to go take the damn ACT. That's exactly what it was. I didn't wanna take it again after the first time because I took it my freshman or sophomore year just to see what it was like.
Right.
And we had to go up to Blue Eye and take it at that school, and I didn't wanna take it again after that. My score was not where I wanted it to be at all, but I just didn't want. I hate that sterile feeling. I hate standard testing, always have. It's too quiet. There's nothing to. If you could let me put on my headphones and listen to music while I did it, oh, it'd be fine. Whatever, I could lock in. I can't do that sterile feeling like that. Everybody's quiet. There's nothing going on. It's just you. I'll read the same page over and over again 10 different times because I'm thinking about something else.
Right.
Because, my head's going a million miles an hour and in whatever direction I think is interesting. I hated it. But the junior year, we got to take it on the computers at school where I had to be there anyway. It was during the day. Like, it wasn't wake up at 6 a.m. to go take it somewhere
On
else.
a Saturday.
On a Saturday, I gotta work. I got a game to go to. I didn't have time to wake up, and I didn't want to wake up.
Right.
Like that was honestly, that was what stopped me. It's funny that I don't know if you know this. Made a bet with Dave, my boss at Sparky's, of whether or not the next time I took it, I could get a 35 or higher. I just never took it because I really didn't want to go through the hassle of taking it again.
Yeah, I didn't realize that at all.
Yeah. And I mean, we did the PSAT and I
Which
scored,
you killed.
just absolutely destroyed that. Never took the SAT just because I didn't feel the need to. I was like, oh, I already destroyed the PSAT. Why would I? I'm not going to need the real test score,
Right.
So like, as far as I'm concerned, I already crushed it. You know, the ASVAB, I got a 99 on. I missed one question on that, and it was naming the tool. It wasn't like there's a section where it's like, oh, what does this tool do? Nailed all that. What is this tool named? Was one of the sections. So you had to know the name, which is stupid. Like, if I know what a hacksaw does, I don't need to know that it's called a hacksaw. Whatever. But that was the one question I missed on that. So like after the 33, like I said, didn't want to get up and go take it. Crushed the PSAT, crushed the ASVAB. Like, like I'm so done with standardized testing. I was so against it, first of all. And I wasn't against it because like it's such a hassle and all. I had done my research on like plenty of really smart experts in the field say standardized testing is not the way to go. And here's why. And there's all these different reasons. And so I was very against standardized testing for a long time. Uh, Not only because I hated it, because everybody hates standardized testing, but
Right.
because it doesn't make any sense and it doesn't really work. Like I got a 33 on the ACT, but I was also so lazy that I wasn't going to go take it again. Whereas the person next to me could have been working their ass off the whole time and they get a 26. And it's like, well, you can't really measure, don't measure their worth based on that.
Right. That's one of the biggest issues I've always had with that test is that to me it doesn't put a measure on your likeliness to succeed
Right.
at the next level.
Yeah.
Right. We put a ton of worth on it as far as scholarships and which school you should get into and blah blah blah. But then you're out on your own. Now, I will say this, and obviously I expect my kids to have slightly different views. We're watching the same movie from different perspectives.
Yeah.
Right. But you had quite a bit of freedom here.
Yeah.
It was communicate, tell us what's going on. Don't do too stupid a shit.
Yeah.
And if you do, pick up the phone and call us.
Yeah.
And we'll be there. Other than that, do your thing. Pretty much. Right. Um, get to college, do well in what you were interested in, not so well in things you weren't interested in, or
No.
what do you think? How do you think your success, your academic success in high school, either prepared you or didn't prepare you, or what did that transition look like for college for you?
As far as the education went, I was very well educated in high school. Eureka, for such a small school, so great.
Yeah.
Amazing school system. As far as the education goes, obviously there's some things I would change about it, but the education it's really solid. I was very prepared for the material. I got away with 30 plus absences my senior year. I was not prepared for attendance points.
Gotcha.
That's what it didn't matter if I was interested in it or not. Really, if you go back and look at my transcript, the only class I really struggled with at all was chemistry. Chem 1 specifically. Very, very hard. Super, super hard. It's kind of the weed out class. right? Like Kim 2 was fine. Oh Kim, I thought was awesome. I thought it was so fun. It
That's
was
organic chemistry,
yeah,
which
I thought it was
I think a lot of people struggle with that.
a lot of people do. For me, it made a lot of sense. It's all based on carbon rings,
Okay.
and I've always been able to, like, visualize stuff in my head really well, and so, like, OChem was fairly easy for me, but Chem 1 is the weed out class. It's a lot of content smushed into a semester to if you can't hack in Chem 1, this isn't for you. I did struggle with that, but not because I couldn't learn it,
Right.
because I stayed up all night playing video games and crap, like, I didn't put in I never had to put in the work, and I didn't. I continued to not put in the work. I continued to not study. So I had trouble with that. But other than that, if the class had attendance points, I was failing the class. If the class didn't have attendance points, I was acing the class. That was it. That's really it. The other factor would be recorded lectures, kind of, because I was also too lazy to watch the recordings. But if the lecture had slides, if they posted the slides to the lecture, didn't matter. Destroying that exam. The night before, I'd run through the all the slides of the semester twice, and content would be memorized. It would be there. So like, it wasn't whether I was interested or not. Anything. It was literally showing.
Which is crazy to me in some ways. So, worked in high school,
Mm,
right? We never told you to go get a job, but you wanted money to spend, and it's Eureka, and half your friends are working anyway,
yep.
right? Why not,
Yep.
right? You landed a fun job at Sparky's. You loved the crew there. You had a lot of fun there. You worked hard, and you've always worked hard.
Mm,
That was never an issue academically. You didn't have to work hard in high school,
yeah.
right? Like, and you were forced to show up,
Yeah.
right? Like for the most part, we were. Um, I will say, if our kids don't feel like going, sometimes they don't go. You know, we didn't always go to the doctor to make sure you had the flu, but you look at your work career now,
Mm,
attendance isn't an issue. Now that you've been at Top Golf, and at first that was just a job to have through college, right? And then
mm.
it's you just started progressing. What would you do anything different going into college? So if you have the mindset now that you do with work, would you change anything before or not?
Yeah. 100%. One, I wouldn't have done pre med. I wouldn't have done pre med for a couple reasons. Not just because I found out it wasn't for me. Right. I finally realized what like with the standardized testing, I couldn't stand that sterile feeling. I didn't know that's what that was. I didn't know that's why like, I had always been really anxious about standardized testing. Very, very anxious. And, it didn't really make sense why, because I always did fantastic. I always did amazing
Yeah.
on these tests. I performed like crazy. So I didn't understand what it was that made me so anxious or so nervous. Like, with the scores that I got, how easily I got them, I should have been excited to be like,
Yes.
"I'm gonna be the best by just showing up."
Right. You were 99th percentile every year except for one. You were 98.
So, like, I'm later realizing that it's that sterile environment, and it was when I think it was when I busted my face open on the concrete, and we went into the hospital, and I just smelled the air. I smelled that sterile environment, and I said, I don't wanna do this. I don't wanna be here," you know, and so I probably should have I wish I would have realized sooner that that's what that was about. At the end of the day, it wasn't I would still love to do the work. I would still love to be in the medical profession. I don't wanna be in the medical environment.
Okay.
I need more than that. I need chaos around me in order to focus. Like, I can't something about that sterile emptiness just ruins it for me. I can't concentrate on anything. So I definitely wouldn't go pre-med. And because it's not for me, that track is really it's weird because you have certain things you have to accomplish, but you can get there in so many different ways, right? Like you can be an interior design major and pre-med at the same time. It's very inefficient. You're
Right.
gonna have to take a
Right.
lot of extra classes, but technically, like you can get into med school with any major. I wouldn't have changed anthropology. I'm glad I was majoring in anthropology, but I would take away the pre-med and I would focus on I would do anthropology probably with a focus on modern sociology, which was a really sociology like 101 was a really fun class. Didn't really learn a lot, but mostly because sociology 101 is like, here's why you shouldn't judge people. And it's like, well, I grew up in Eureka. I know not to judge people,
Right.
like
We would be busy all the time judging people.
yeah.
Yeah.
So but it was fun. And I think maybe the upper levels would be cool. So I would probably keep anthropology and then I would do a second degree in psych, but I would finish anthropology first. Honestly, if I could go back, I would just make myself show up. Yeah, 100%. I love my job. I love what I do. It's a lot of fun. I think I'm moving up pretty quickly. I enjoy the work. I enjoy learning when I'm learning. But if I could go back, I would have 4 or 5 degrees before I stopped going to school. Like I was in, and I only say that because I was in a position to literally like make a living going to school
Right.
if I would have just done it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Your freshman year is like, you were like, I have bank after I pay for all my stuff.
yeah, yeah. Like if I had just shown up to my classes, I would have crushed all my classes. I would have gotten even more scholarships, even more funding. I could have started applying for grants probably by my third year to do independent research. So I would just make myself show up and I would just keep. I think the thing that's keeping me from going back is that it's going to take a lot of time and resources, and I'm lazy. The time is the thing that really kills it for me. I'll figure out the money, I'll figure out whatever. It's the actually sitting down and going through the boring paperwork process of figuring it all out. 'Cause I hate paperwork, but I'm also like scared I'm going to go back and I'm not going to like what I go for. I was so excited for pre-med, and one day I woke up and was like, "Why are you doing this? This is not you don't wanna be here at all. This is not for you." And so I think I'm kind of afraid that I'm gonna go back, and I'm gonna spend all this time and resources to go back and, like, fix this mistake that, 1, I can't ever fix. Let's be honest, that opportunity is gone. I can go back and get degrees and stuff, but I'm never gonna be in the same spot I was,
Right. 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 Right.
you know? And so I can't fix it. I gotta learn to live with it, but I'm gonna go back, spend all this time and resources, to finish out this degree, to move on to something else, and what if that's all for nothing? Like what if it's all a waste anyway?
I can understand that. I first of all, I've got to say, you throwing the term around lazy like a lot. You're
Mm,
not lazy. You don't move up as fast at work if you're lazy.
mm,
Now, there may be certain things that you're like, I don't want to fucking get out and go do that, right? Like, but I don't want to go up on the roof and fix the roof either. Like, that doesn't mean I'm lazy.
yep,
So I got to kill that notion because you're not. Now, you may be the perfect combination of your mother and I as far as bullheadedness sometimes and stubborn, which if you don't want to do something might look lazy, but
yeah,
that's not lazy.
yeah,
S- Second, I can appreciate I just want to get up and go. My first stint in college um, was not successful at all.
mm,
Um, Moved away, and I don't know how much you know of it. You probably know some of it. You remember everything. So, um, went to college, the Ozarks, right out of school. Went down to the summer work program. Got on the landscaping crew. Had a blast all summer long, laying irrigation pipe and having fun at night. Then school started. I really hated it college. Didn't want to be there. I had way more rules in college than I had at home. It's a great opportunity for people that are used to having strict curfews and being in this very regimented uh, system, and that wasn't me. I had pretty free run in high school as long as I communicated with my parents and let them know what's going on. You know, I had a curfew, but it was fairly flexible if I communicated. So I get down there, and somewhere in the first semester, so I didn't last near as long. First semester, I realized how miserable I was, and I did everything I could to get kicked out of that college. Finally, I just learned that if you just don't go to class,
Yeah.
they will give you a 0.86 GPA, a 0.86. Okay. Now, I am not an unintelligent person. I'm a lot of things, but I'm not unintelligent. I had to
Yeah.
try to get a
Yeah.
0.86 GPA, like
Yeah.
bad, but that's just how miserable I was. Now, when I went back as an adult, I killed it in Dean's List and did well. So, what I hate for you is I hate that it took you getting to the point. First of all, when we're talking about this stuff, I hope you know there is no animosity or anything about you not finishing college.
Yeah.
Okay. 100%. It was all financially on you. Not that we wouldn't have helped you,
Mhm.
but you never asked for it at all.
Mhm.
You didn't need it, for
Yeah.
one thing. I mean, like you said, you were getting paid to go to school,
Yeah.
right? So that wasn't a thing. I mean, I remember your car needed brakes, and I was like, why didn't you ask us for that? So A, we wouldn't even have the right to even feel a way about it
Yeah.
if we did, but we don't. What I hate is I don't want you to feel at all like you let anybody else down by not doing that. Because I do know that, like with the Arkansas governors, right? I have a feeling that
Yeah.
there's some internal feelings about that because that was one boy, one girl in each county in the state of Arkansas, right? That's
Yeah.
a big deal, right? And I have a feeling that you feel a little
100%. That's the only like I don't want you to take this the wrong way. But what you just said about like financially and stuff, that's how I always felt about it. Like, and I think that's why I didn't ever ask for anything was because as long as I didn't ask for any help, it's mine. You
yeah,
can leave me alone. Like
yeah,
about that, yeah. No matter if I succeed or fail, it's mine,
right,
right? So like I didn't want to share that with anybody. One, I didn't want to share the success of it. I wanted to feel like that's mine and mine alone, and I worked for that if I succeeded. And two, I didn't want to let anybody else down if I failed. So I wanted to keep that my own. But the Arkansas governor is the one where I go, well, I literally took that from somebody else just to piss it away,
right,
and that's like I said with the standardized testing, the kid next to me who got a 28, he should have got that because he worked his ass off and he's going to continue to work his ass off to be a success. Whereas I breezed through it and performed really well because I was born to perform well in standardized tests, and I never had to work for it, continue to not work for it. So I do feel bad on that one, but like I never thought, and you were always very open about, you went back to school when I was in high school, and you were always very open about that story of what happened when, you ended up leaving school and it just wasn't for you in the moment. And so, like, I had the advantage of emotionally of like being prepared for that and knowing that, like, at the end of the day, if you were disappointed, you weren't disappointed in me. You might be disappointed in the fact that, like, I always knew that if you were disappointed, you weren't disappointed in me. You were disappointed for me.
Yes, 100%.
You were disappointed that one day I'm gonna wake up and realize I had this great opportunity and I might regret that.
Yeah.
Which is fine. That's you should feel that way. Obviously that means like you care. But you never held it against me. And I think you were very open even from the beginning when I got to school. You were like, "Hey, I don't think you're gonna fail, but just know if you wake up one day and figure out this isn't for you right now, it's not for you, and that's okay."
Yeah.
And you were always very open, and so was mom. Mom was a little more, you're like, as long as you want to do it, you're gonna do it. So like, don't even worry about it. But she was also very like, if you don't want to, you don't want to,
Right.
and that's okay. I wish I could have not gone straight to school. I wish I could have taken a few years to be out on my own and worked a job and just lived a little and then gone back to school with the opportunities I had, but I can't. And
Right.
and like,
That's the caveat there.
yeah,
Right. Is with the opportunities you
yeah,
have. The good news is if you ever want to go back to school, you can. You won't have the same opportunities you had then. Right. But it doesn't, what I will say from being somebody who went back when I wanted to go back, right?
mhm,
Success was a hell of a lot easier when you wanted to be there. You already said you didn't want financial help because you wanted it to be on you either way, positive or negative. Well, when you're there and you're not, and you're like, this is all on us,
yeah,
right? Like, we have an insane amount of student debt between your mom and I, an insane amount because we were both non-traditional students and we had to subsidize our income
yeah,
with student loans to go back to school. Now, is that the responsible way to do it? I don't fucking know. Whatever. But it was the way we did it.
mm,
Right. I don't know that there was another way for us to do it and do what we did. I'm not even using my degree and I don't feel bad about it.
yeah,
I don't. And because I decided that although I know I would have been a good teacher, the financial aspect of it,
yeah,
I, I couldn't do it.
yeah,
Like it was tough for me to go, okay, I'm okay with starting out at $30,000 a year. We've had conversations financially. He's taking this and we knew why. We knew
mhm,
you didn't ask for help because A, you weren't that type of kid ever really to ask for money type help. This wasn't you. B, we knew you wanted the success or the failure and you didn't want us to be able to come to your
yeah,
dorm room or your apartment
yeah,
and say, hey, you need to, why is your grades this, blah, blah, blah.
yeah,
You were like, no, I'm going away to college. I want to be away at college, which is cool. I'm glad you had that experience. I wish for you that you didn't have that holding over your head about the Arkansas scholarship and that aspect of it.
mhm,
But also 100% your nobody's self-worth or worth in the world is directly tied to anyone's success or failure
mhm,
in any aspect of their life as far as I'm concerned, right? It's the sum of all. And we're super proud of the way you've transitioned into pure adulthood. And you're sitting there right now going, I don't feel like an adult, right? I'm gonna go home and play computer games until I pass out tonight. That's okay. Adulthood isn't necessarily what we see on TV half the time, right? It is making sure that your shit's taken care of and doing the best you can every day, which you do. You've got a good job, you work hard, obviously, take care of yourself mentally, physically, you're doing well, it seems, right? And so we just, I hope you know how proud your mom and I are of you all the time. And more than anything, just for the human being that you are, the respect that you treat people with, the laughter, the smile that you bring to people's faces, the people that know you love you. and that's awesome, and that's truly all we give a shit about. So, I love your